Good morning. I have more banana bread. It's very good. But I also want to, like, eat it before it, goes bad. Jess says, how do you have any left? Jess says, it's been gone for 2 days here. Well, I had some on Tuesday.
Give me the bird!
And it's Thursday. I have another huge piece.
Do, here's me Sailor Moon!
Jacket cases, do you know of a thing called a freezer? It's one loaf of bread. Like, I'm not going to freeze any of it. I'm just going to eat it. There's not that much of it. I just have to, like, actually do it. It's delicious. Hi. But depending on how my morning goes, I don't have, like, a breakfast thing. I know. How's your body?
I feel like I got beat up.
You did. Technically. We'll talk about that. We're all very old and in pain.
Oh, I just think it was very violent.
Rebecca's here.
Morning, Rebecca.
Rebecca, how do you feel? Are you in pain? I'm just curious. My body. I mean, I had a good time. But sometimes, mentally in pain. Yeah, a separate problem, but a problem nonetheless. Let me read some alerts and then we'll talk about things. We had a 64-month resub from Chaz, who says, thanks to We Win for my ongoing sub gift. Ah, that's very nice. Thank you, We Win. Got 57 months from NG Ben. Thanks, Brandon. 67 months from I Spy a Moose. Jacebook gifted a sub to Forrest Minish. That's Rebecca. 13 months from Tashi B. 31 months from KJ the Quiet One. 42 from Topsy Kretz. 42 also from Never Challenge the Chat. 44 months from Nomi Bookworm. 66 from Vegetable Sorbet, who also gives 3 subs. To Leaf Albion, Likeable Leaf in TNT. Sorbet, thank you. 58 months from Jackson Lee Gaming. 500 bits of Melvin Scout says, good morning from New York. Giving mild roast coffee another good honest try after a few bad experiences. Good vibes all around. Mild roast coffee. Like a light roast? Is that the same as mild?
I've been told that light roast lets you taste it better, but I've never liked it as much as a bold roast.
As a dark roast.
Dark roast.
Yeah. Yeah, I am someone that when I have coffee, I'm like, largely, I'm generalizing a lot, but largely coffee is coffee to me. I'm having coffee and I'm like, coffee is coffee. There's occasions where I will have, like, bad coffee, but for the most part, I'm like, coffee is coffee. But I can taste a pretty big difference between light roast and dark roast, and I don't... They're both fine. I just would prefer it to be dark. But they're both fine. They're both fine. We have 300 bits from Echo Treekeeper. It says, today I learned the music in Adder/God's Room from Moon is the same as Alanis Morissette's 8 Easy Steps. I'm gonna have to listen to that after. I mean, composers find inspiration in all sorts of places.
Yeah.
You know? The composers from Aerobiz Supersonic found a lot of inspiration from Eric Clapton.
Sorry.
And by inspiration, I mean it's the same song. They just stole an Eric Clapton song.
Someone referenced Jagged Little Pill to me the other day, and I was like, I should listen to this album again. So I just had to pull up a page about it so I would remember.
I need to finish my playlist someday. Someday. Alder says, did you know the final Jeopardy music is just I'm a Little Teapot? Tevin says, who is Eric Clapton? 62 months from Luna Boy. 64 months from Wildfire. And 500 bits from Handsome Mama. She says, after months in a wait list, the doctor says our son has traits of autism and ADHD. But there's a wait list for actual testing. We just want to support him better. Frustrating. Well, I'm glad that you want to support him. I hate that there is a wait list for after the wait list, but also that's very somewhat typical of doctor stuff. A friend of mine was going to get tested for what is it? It's too early for my brain to work.
I don't know who you're talking about,
When
so
you-
I can't help.
When you can't breathe at night.
Sleep apnea.
Sleep apnea. They were getting tested for sleep apnea, but they had to wait like a long time to see a doctor, and then after they saw the doctor, they had to wait a long time to actually do like the sleep test, and then they had to wait a long time to get fitted for the machine, and then they have to wait a long time to get the machine, and it's like, anyway, good vibes all the same. I hope that maybe there's a possibility you can move up in the list, because that would be great. Let me take another bite of this. Eric K. Lapton, he is a Kremlin in disguise. Let me... Okay, so the reason that we're all in pain, except Chaz
And Brandon.
and Brandon. Chaz and Brandon were the only two that did not join us at Twisters 4DX, which is where you watch the movie Twisters, but the theater throws you around. I've never seen a 4DX movie,
Me neither.
but
It was incredibly violent.
not the movie, the
The 4D part.
4D part.
At, like, the main part of the movie at the end,
It was a lot like being trampled by Peggy, to be honest. It's accurate.
like all the plot, you know, it's a disaster movie. It's leading up to the final event, right? At one point during that, I looked around at the theater and people are like jumping out of their seats, like they're being like thrown up
Yeah.
into the air. And
Yeah.
it was like, oh my god.
Yeah. It's...
Like, I felt like I
It was
needed a
fun.
seatbelt.
There were no seatbelts. It was fun. I want to start by saying that I enjoyed myself immensely because it was kind of like being on a 90-minute thrill ride. And that was fun. I liked that a lot. But was there a lot? Yeah, there was a lot.
There was a lot.
There was a lot.
Like, there's stuff in the seat that, like, punches you in the back.
Yeah. There's all these points in the seat where things can like jab you. So like depending on what happens, like one specific jab will just But that's not I mean, like, that can be alarming, but that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is that the chairs are like and you're like, what was funny...
Brandon says you got to sit in a bad massage chair for 2 hours.
It's, Dan, at the end, Dan was like, you know, they tout this as being more immersive. He's like, but it was less immersive. He's like, I've never been so aware I was in a theater because I can't keep my eyes on the screen because I'm bobbing around. I sat in the very back. I sat in the very back, and getting a chance to just see the entire like sea of people, like it was like surfing. It was like entire like rows.
Did our theater have wind and mist? Yes, it did. But we were sitting in the very back, so we really didn't get that part of it.
Which I wish I would have known when choosing seats. I assumed everyone would get wet, but no.
Yeah.
You have to sit basically on the sides of the theater because the misters are on the side. I wanted to be soaked by the time I walked out of there. Didn't happen. Because, like, you're paying for that experience, you know?
Yeah.
The water's part of the price. The movie itself was terrible. It's not terrible. I shouldn't call it terrible.
Oh,
It's
though.
It's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's just not good. There are really, like... There are really bad movies in this world. So, I think of those when I think of, like, you know, Twisters. But, like, was there extremely nonsensical parts and stupid one-liners? Yes. There was, early in the film, the protagonist and the other protagonist are driving in a truck, and there's been a twister, which I know this is going to surprise you in the movie.
Sorry
Twisters.
to spoil that.
Yeah, there's tornadoes in this movie, and it goes towards like a town, and the protagonist is like, we have to help them, and every single person in our group just starts laughing because it doesn't make any sense. There is nothing these people can do at all, but the protagonist is so adamant, like, to the person driving the truck, we have to help them, and he's like, there's nothing, but we need to get back. No, we have to help them. So we're just...
Exactly, Rebecca. Nobody in Oklahoma knows how to respond to a tornado warning.
The movie did treat everyone in Oklahoma like they were idiots, like they've never seen a tornado before, like they won't know what to do, even though they grow up in Tornado Alley. And whenever that scene happened, we were trying so hard to stifle laughter, and I was looking around and no one else in the theater was laughing. And I was like, oh, why? Why is no one else laughing? And then it's a smash cut to the guy, and he's like dusting off the debris from a photo album and handing it to a woman. The town's destroyed. They couldn't have done anything, but it was important that they go do that and get the debris off of the photo album. And once they went to that, we were just like dying. It was bad. I was like crying, laughing, and there was people that I didn't know to the right of me, and I like kind of like glanced over, and like there's no one else in the theater is laughing. I'm so glad we helped these people. You did nothing. Yeah. And the fun thing is that happens again. that happens again in the film. It happens. Actually, no. Does it happen 3 times?
It does.
It happens 3 times. That's right. The second time it happens is with the main character and a different person. She's like, we have to help them. And he's like, no, we can't. No, we have to help them. So then she like steals a car and has to go help them. But again, she cannot do anything. It's a tornado. And she is the one person.
She convinced 2 people to go with her to be in a safe place.
Like, it's just wild because this is all taking place in Oklahoma, and there's like an outdoor, like, vendors, people like selling their own stuff, and they come in and they're like, there's a tornado, we have to go, and the vendors are like, no, I need to sell my stuff. And I'm like, sorry, no one in Oklahoma would do this. They understand they're in the scary place and they have to go. They're not. The final time it happens, I'm just going to tell you some of this. The final time it happens is great because there's this entire dialogue that feels like a Snidely Whiplash villain where the guy's like, we got to help those people. And the other person's like, what? No, we have to worry about our investors. And the guy's like, we really need to help these people. And the guy goes, I don't care about people. And I'm just dying laughing. I'm like, this is wild. Who wrote this? Anyway, it was great. I highly recommend seeing the film if you can do it and have your bones shaken. I would not see the film otherwise, unless it was like free, or if they paid you. But if you can see it and get your bones shaken up, I would do that. Go with some friends who understand bad writing and laugh in the theater. Anyway, all right, let's get back to what I was doing. The 2033, the Peggy was from Sybe, who said, hello, Grandpa and Grandma and fellow grandkids. First breakfast stream live since starting the new job 3 months ago, and at the new job, I've told a foreign VIP his head is too big, scolded the big boss of my area for trying to break protocol, and got recommended for a lead position.
That's a lot in 3 months.
That's amazing. I think you're doing jobs correctly. I think you're doing it correctly. Good work. That's excellent. I love how it ends with, got recommended for a lead position. I'm like, something's working. Something's doing really well. Cheese Hammer gifted a sub to, hey Siri, turn off the light.
Subduing a truck driver isn't complete without Tiny Eddie's lavender and hazelnut rhino on a stick.
Oh my god, I love subduing a truck driver. Speaking of trucks, the entirety of Twisters is an ad for Dodge Ram trucks. I think every vehicle in that movie is a Dodge. There's so much truck footage. If you want to see trucks and you want to hear like country music and see a lot of dirt roads, I know a film. Here's 1,000 bits from Travis Salem. It says, but what was Edward selling at concessions? Lavender and hazelnut rhino on a stick. After you tie up the truck driver, you can offer them some rhino on a stick. Lavender and hazelnut sounds nice, though. It doesn't seem like it pairs well with rhino, but...
I don't think it pairs well with rhino.
Rhino seems like it would need something bold.
Not lavender and hazelnut?
Not lavender. We had 100 bits from Elvin Scout. Thank you. And 500 bits from Aldo says, are you guys sure you went to a movie theater and not a Universal Studios ride? So that was why I wanted to do this. It's because, so for the first thing, I didn't know that 4D movies were like a thing. I didn't even know. Like, it has never crossed my radar once. But this one did. And I was like, since the movies have never crossed my radar before today. I assume that they've all been bad. But the fact that Twisters in 4DX crossed my radar, I was like, this must be worth experiencing. Like, if there was going to be a movie that we saw, this one would be fun.
Haley said she saw a TikTok of someone doing like a selfie video of them in the theater during one of the really intense scenes.
Yeah.
And you can just see like people behind them kind of like
Bouncing up and down. Yeah. I mean, that is how it actually was. They showed... I haven't been in a traditional movie theater in years. Like, the last time... Like, every time we go to the movies, we go to Alamo. So it's been a long time since I've seen, like, a traditional movie, like, theater. And there were, like, 40 minutes of previews, which I had forgotten was a thing. I was like, neat.
No, this was not Alamo.
This was not Alamo. This was at Regal. Regal was the one that has the 40X machines. And so we had to watch through, you know, all of these previews. And part of the previews...
Etiel.
Listen. I'll get there. I'll get there at some point. Part of the previews were in 4D.
Yeah, the Deadpool versus or Deadpool X-Men Wolverine thing.
Yeah. That preview was in 4D, and my first thought was I would not want to watch a normal movie with this, because like when I'm watching like a fight scene, I don't need to be punched.
Yeah, there was a point where there was a punch in that trailer, and the seat jabbed me like back here.
Yeah, like the. And I know that they're, like, playing up the 4D in the trailer, because they're trying to do all of, like, the big bits. But, like, no, I don't need that. I don't need that. A disaster movie, I feel like, made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But to watch almost anything else...
Well, that trailer, what song was playing during, Like a Prayer?
I don't remember.
It was, yeah, I think it was Like a Prayer. And, like, the seat kind of swayed to the music and, like, bounced to the music. And that was hilarious to me. Yeah,
it was... It did add... I mean, just in general, the seats added comedy. It was... I don't think I would ever do a 4DX movie ever again, because there's nothing new that those chairs can do that I haven't just experienced. You know?
Yeah.
Like... They can do this, and there's wind, and there's water, I guess, if you sit in the right spot. So, like, for me, there's no reason to ever go back to another 4D movie, ever. Because it's just going to be the same thing. But 5D... If you want to emulate this at home, watch a movie and like, pay two people to sit next to you... and have like one spray you and one shake you, and it can be very immersive. It'd probably be even better if you were in like a headset, so like you're in the movie but things are happening to you. I think they do that for free. Renee says my kids would do it. If you have kids at home, you can have 4D experience for free. Anyway. Oh, that's the other thing. There was smells, which I did not know was going to be a thing.
Oh, I did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because during certain scenes, they like spray something in.
The first shot.
Yeah.
They're like panning across some grass, and it's like fresh scent.
They didn't have a lot of variety in the scents.
No.
There was fresh and rain. I don't think there were any other
They might have been
scents.
the same, to be fair.
The smell-o-vision was very interesting. I think that the smell-o-vision aspect could be very cool, but I think you need more smells. I don't know. The very first motion in the movie was, how did Haley put this?
A trailer for the seat.
Well, it was during when the movie actually started. when the movie started, it was the car horn.
Oh, yeah.
The first thing that happens in the movie where you feel it in the seat is someone honks the horn of a truck. And what they chose to do was, you've got all these little things that are in your seat, and there's one right at your taint. So the very first thing you feel in Twisters is just this. That's the first thing. Someone honks a horn and you go, the whole theater goes, oh, and then everyone starts laughing because they're like, but why? Why was that the first? Why was that the horn? Vagabond, buying a ticket right now.
Renee.
That was the very first thing. And everyone was laughing because it's like, why would they choose that? Why is that? Because they have ways to like blow air around you. They have other things to do.
There was a lot of like air cannons around heads. So when they would do that, like in movies, if something swipes really close to the camera from the side, like it would pull the air thing, and my hair would do like this.
Anyway, when we saw it last night, that was the last showing of the last night that they're showing in 4DX. So that was the last time we could have possibly seen it. If you're interested in watching this monstrosity for yourself while jumping up and down, check your local cinemas and see if it's playing. Because if it is playing in 4DX, it probably won't be for long. We had to go at 10:15 p.m. And then after 40 minutes of previews, the movie didn't even start until 11. So we got out real late, but that was the only time we could see it.
I took some anti-nausea medication beforehand. And I'm glad I did, because the final twister of the movie, like, I felt nauseous after that. And we got home and I had a headache. And I woke up this morning and I feel beat up and I have a headache.
The movie, like the movement stuff is fairly intense.
Yeah.
Because it's a movie about tornadoes, and there's multiple tornadoes in the film. And the ending is obviously extreme. The beginning of the movie is extreme.
Yeah.
There almost might be more motion at the beginning than the end. But it was fun. It was fun. I did enjoy myself.
Yeah. I'm glad I did it. Would I do it again? No, I wouldn't.
That's interesting. Clefairy Rock says, I saw Twisters last weekend at my favorite theater. There was a panel of storm chasers and meteorologists who are extras in the movie. It was pretty cool. Also, I live in Oklahoma, so I recognized a lot of the locations.
It was shot on location, on film.
They still shoot things on film.
Mm-hmm.
It still happens. Yeah. It was, yeah, like the movie itself has problems. It's got some serious problems. But jumping around while watching it, like, yeah. Yes. I want them to make
Dan got a
more.
slushie, like a...
Daniel, we get in there and sit down.
Dan's like, I want an icy.
And I watched Dan disappear. And I'm like, where's Dan going? And Mal's like, oh, he's going to get a drink. And I'm like, Dan's going to get a drink? Dan's going to watch this movie with a drink? Okay. So he comes back and he's got a slushie, and I'm just like, how are you going to do this? How? Not just from the fact that like it would go everywhere, but also my thinking is, how could you possibly drink and not have the straw like jab you in the eye or like up into your brain? And he did it. He did it. he managed to do it. I don't think there was any injuries. But because he drank that, halfway through the film, he had to go to the bathroom. So he got up and went to the bathroom at a time where, like, the seats weren't moving. Like, it was calm. It was, like, dialogue. But when he came back, we were in the middle of a twister. So Dan gets up, and I told Matt, I was like, pray for Dan. He's going to have to get back into his seat, and this is impossible. So, like, the seat's, like, and Dan's looking at it like he's trying to tame a bull. He's, like, trying to figure out how he's going to get back into the seat. And then finally, he just, like, jumps and spins and gets in it. It was amazing. That was maybe one of my favorite parts of the film. My advice, if you go see that, would be to not have, like, first off, don't buy popcorn. Oh my God.
People had popcorn.
I know, there's popcorn everywhere.
Yeah.
And, like, no wonder. If you're holding a bucket of popcorn and you yourself are flying through the air, what do you think's gonna happen to your popcorn? I mean, I don't know. I guess it could be fun. It's just raining popcorn everywhere. We didn't try that. Rebecca says Josh was almost wearing the drink from the seat next to him. Josh said that the person next to him had gotten the drink, and Josh said he just kept giving the drink the side eye the entire film because he was so worried. I had fun. It was a fun experience. Like I said, I don't think I'd go to another 4D movie, but I had fun. It was great. Now, we will watch another movie, though.
Yeah.
That will happen. Fun fact. And maybe this will make NDL happy, because maybe I'll watch Kinds of Kindness. I bought the tickets. It's easier if one person buys tickets and then everyone pays them back. Mm-hmm. So I bought the tickets to take care of it. And because I bought 8 tickets, I earned enough points or whatever to just get a free movie ticket. So now I have... It can't be used for 4D Rock Your Bones movie. It has to be normal flat movie. But I have a movie ticket that I can go watch, like a good movie, if I wanted to. So, normal flat movie. Yeah, it probably won't be Kinds of Kindness. I think the ticket's good for like a year. So, I don't know for sure, but I'm hoping that in the next year they make a good movie. There's no guarantees.
I mean, they're making live action movie Wicked.
I watched the trailer for that, and it did not interest me.
Well, I've never seen Wicked. I wanted to, so I was like, oh.
I don't get excited about, like, on the even when we're at Alamo and they show, like, previews.
There was a,
I just don't get excited for anything.
What'd you think of the trailer for that Christmas movie with The Rock?
That was funny.
That was interesting, yeah.
It reminded me of, a little more slapstick version of, the movie that Haley really likes. The one,
yes.
I don't remember what it's called.
I can't think of what... The Dutch? No. Norwegian? Icelandic?
Yeah, but I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I can't think of it. We watched it like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Rare Exports. Thank you.
Rare Exports. I really liked Rare Exports. It was cool. It's a very, very non-traditional holiday film. It is rated R. Do not take your children. But Red 1 was... That was a funny-looking film. That was the only film that even... Because how many trailers did we watch? 10? 12? And out of all of them, that was the only one that I was like, okay, that's... You know... I wouldn't pay money to see that, but if it was free on my television, and there was at least 3 or 4 other people that wanted to watch it, I would watch it. But the interest that I have in movies is like, if I'm watching movies with other people, I'll watch movies with other people that they've chosen. That's fine. But if I'm choosing a movie, I'm like super, super selective. Because like my time on this earth is so short. So I want to watch.
Meanwhile, I'm like, let's watch a terrible movie with Mystery Science Theater.
And like that's fine if I'm watching it with like other people. Like as a group. Like we're all going to laugh together thing. That's fine. But if I'm gonna pick the movie, it's gonna be something I really, really want to see. I don't want to like be half interested in a film. Anyway, we're gonna watch the third Naked Gun film tonight. It's date night and it's my turn, so I have a dinner place picked out, but we have to watch the last Naked Gun film before they take it off of whatever service. HBO, Amazon, I don't remember which one. I do like depressing movies. It's not that I like depressing movies, like, exclusively. I just like movies that make me feel things. And a really good way of doing that is having a very depressing film. I can also feel things from, like, other types of films. There's movies I've seen that are, like, they're so funny. You feel a thing. 4D does make you feel things. For like the next several days. I might have to see a chiropractor. We got 53 months from Melmer723. 32 months from Sting ACG. 300 bits from Jspoke, who says, so here's a question for you, Stephen and Mal. What criteria do you have in order to have a good film? Storytelling? Not having to explain the subject matter? Acting? If you're going to have a good movie, it requires, like, if it's a good film, like something you walk away from and you're like, you can recommend it to people knowing that it's going to be, for the most part, widely enjoyed. Mm-hmm. It has to have a lot of things right. Like, the acting needs to not suck. The story needs to be good. For me, I like to remember... I don't remember things very well, and I think people know that. So for me, if I can watch a movie that is so mesmerizing that I can't forget it, that, to me, is really good. Something I'm not going to forget so easily. Like when we watched Mother. I walked away from that movie and I was like, I'll probably remember some of that. And I did. There was a trailer last night where it played and I was like, this got vague hints of Mother in it. There was another movie I was going to mention that's not like a... Hundreds of Beavers. Hundreds of Beavers is a very different film. That's not a depressing film. And that is so different and mesmerizing that is another film that's going to stick with me. I'm going to remember because it's so weird. It was so non-traditional. So, things that are just like... interesting.
We just watched Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Yes. We rewatched that. And, like, that's a movie I haven't seen in... how long have we been together? A long time. And it was interesting to rewatch that because when we first watched it, I think we had probably only been dating for, like, a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have the full Midwestern spectrum
at the time.
Mm-hmm. And now I have. I'm like an honorary Midwesterner. I know a lot about the culture. And the movie does an astoundingly good job.
It does.
Like, a really good job. I don't want to tell people to, like, watch that in Fargo and you got it, but, like, just, you know. I don't want to stereotype everyone in the Midwest, but...
I mean, they were missing, like, pull tabs and... like, kind of, like...
Don't they mention that?
They mention pull tabs, but, like...
Isn't it on, like, a sign or something?
Yeah, but, like, it's still... They're missing a lot of, like, the bar culture, I think.
That's fair. Andy else says, can you bring back the Letterboxd account? I really should. I actually thought about this the other day. I was like, writing the reviews and stuff, I'm trying to do too many other things. But I could, at the very least, like, log the things I'm watching.
Yeah.
I could do that. But I hate doing things in the middle of the year, so I'm going to start doing it next year. Remind me on January 1st at 2 p.m. to begin logging movies again. It's official. You will ignore that alarm. What I need to do...
is just start doing it.
No. No, I was going to say what I need to do
Stop
is...
watching movies until then.
I was going to say make sure I watch a movie on January 1st. Yeah. It's fine. I snooze a lot of things. It's okay. It's alright. It's fine. We have a subscription from Next479. Welcome. 300 bits some stats. Says, so, did you guys hear the team behind Chibi Robo have a Kickstarter for a spiritual successor? As someone who got horribly burned by Mighty Number 9, I still have some hope in this. Yes, it's something Robo. Go Robo? Co Robo? Something Robo. Co Robo. Yeah, that's neat. I don't know a whole lot about it. I just saw that it existed. Ko is child in Japanese. Tiny robo. I'm glad that there's more games that are getting spiritual successors, either by the original team or by, others. I picked up a game the other day in the GameStop sale that I've been interested in, and I don't even know if it turned out exactly what they wanted it to be. The spiritual successor to Jet Grind Radio. What is it called? Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. I haven't played it, but I always really liked the Jet Set Radio games. So, you mean Jet Set Radio? Well, the first one's Jet Grind. Jet Grind Radio. Right? Jet Grind Radio, then Jet Set Radio. Future. I might have some wires crossed. Hold on. Jet Grind Radio. Okay, so Jet Grind Radio is the first game. Oh wait, is it Jet Set Radio in the US? No. It's still Jet Grind Radio. What the heck? No wonder I have wires crossed. Jet Set Radio. I thought the second one was called Jet Set Radio. Jet Set Radio, originally released in North America as Jet Grind Radio.
So it's Jet Set everywhere else.
Yeah, but it was released in... It says originally released in North America as Jet Grind Radio. So when I say Jet Grind Radio, I'm not wrong.
No.
When did they change the name? What? When did this happen? What? Because in my brain I was like, the first one's Jet Grind Radio, and the second one is Jet Set Radio Future. It looks like they retroactively changed the name at some point? I have no idea. I'll look into that later. Globally, it was Jet Set Radio. But in America, it was Jet Grind Radio. And then, when they made the sequel, it was Jet Set Radio Future, and in America, it's Jet Set Radio Future. Do I own this game? Yeah, I do. Here's all the proof you need. What's that say?
Difficult to read font?
Jet Grind Radio. It's like, why? I knew I wasn't crazy. I was like, no, I feel really strongly about this. Yeah, it's Jet Grind Radio. So the thing I'm curious about is, did they re-release an English Dreamcast version as Jet Set Radio? That I don't know, and that would be fascinating to know.
1 player, standard controller, jump pack compatible, modem.
It's a great game. It's a great game, and it really is one of the best soundtracks of all time.
Graffiti is art. However, graffiti as an art of vandalism is a crime and punishable by law.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that comes on screen like when you boot up the game. Graffiti is art, but it's a crime. Anyway, it's time for you to play this video game where you do crimes. Yeah, I have a lot of the soundtrack from this game on my playlist because it comes up every once in a while. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. What do there. I don't think I have the second one. I don't have a lot of Dreamcast games though. In fairness, there's not a lot of them up there. We had 13 months from That Lazy Bro. Thank you. We were just talking about graffiti on Tuesday.
We were?
We were talking about the paint markers that were thick.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about graffiti and like just bold lines. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing Extra Life Dreamcast anytime soon. I own 10 Dreamcast games.
Non-stop Sonic Shuffle.
Also, I know that the soundtrack for Jet Set is in
Content ID.
Content ID, which is so sad.
Space Channel 5.
So sad.
Choo choo.
Does Space Channel 5 have like real music, doesn't it? It's not just music made for the game. Doesn't it have licensed music in it?
I don't remember.
I don't either. Yeah. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. Jet Set is a game that I would love to play like on stream or something, and like I shouldn't. If I want to be able to keep doing what I do, it's like I shouldn't do that. Have beans. I programmed my button to work again. We had 71 months from Cobalt Custard. Thank you. We're at 71? And you're at like 17.
Yeah.
So we're like... The numbers are swapped. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the things that are happening. If you missed yesterday's stream, I started Subnautica. It was an adventure. I'm gonna have that VOD out soon. I got it exported and uploaded and processed, so it's sitting on StephenVOD. I need to make a thumbnail and release it, but I also have to release like Zelda 50 and Dark Cloud 10 and some other things. So that's right. I had a fishing rod. So I would expect Subnautica like Saturday. Maybe Saturday. Probably. Because I need to probably release Zelda today and Dark Cloud tomorrow. Or Dark Cloud and then... Anyway. It's soon. It's soon. Chrysalium says, are you planning on bringing Subnautica to Steam Place in some capacity? In some capacity, yes. It is not going to be episodic in the traditional way, because there's no breaks in the... There's no breaks... There's no break... There's no breaks... Hi, buddy. There's no breaks in the stream. I don't take any breaks, and we leave alerts on.
Just falls over.
But we thought that it would be... We thought that, honestly, that it wouldn't be a terribly interesting, like, normal episodic Steam Plays series, because there's a lot of, like... There's a lot of repetition. So we are planning currently to have Dan edit down the streams into episodes, which is a very different... Well, it's not a very different feel. It'll be episodic, but like much more condensed. But for Subnautica, I kind of feel like that's good. So yeah, it'll be similar to a highlight style, but also probably a little bit more... I don't know. It needs that. Like, I know sometimes people have complained about highlight style, like, missing things. But for one, I care a lot less now because the VOD channel exists and people can watch the entirety of things. But also for Subnautica needs a lot of stuff cut out, honestly. It really does. It's fun. But if I had a nickel for yesterday, just how many times I was like, I need to go find copper! And, like, went to find copper, like, I'd have a handful of nickels, and we don't need to see every single moment of that, so. Anyway, stay tuned for that at some point in the future. Dan's doing all of the Metroid stuff in our normal way, and we have still quite a bit of that left to go. Gold Toast from Drek at the 71 months. Thank you, Drek. Can't believe we're at 71. Anyway, that was Subnautica. You're painting today, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna paint today.
You have an idea when, or just sometime?
I think, what time is it? It's 10.
It's 10.
Noon, 2 hours from now.
Mal's going to be going live probably a little more often than usual because she's got to paint big canvas. So, good luck on new canvas.
Thanks.
New big canvas.
I don't love the mountain yet, so and it's such a big part of the painting. So it needs to be...
You really have to get it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So painting today, painting tomorrow probably.
Yeah.
Paint. And then tomorrow night back into Zelda. I don't know for certain, but I think maybe
we have like half.
Yeah. I don't know. We might finish the shrines tomorrow. If we don't, I think we'll be pretty close to it. But we might finish them. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're really, like, getting there. Wild.
Head and chin scratch.
I've enjoyed Tears of the Kingdom, but I also feel like I've been playing it my entire life. Once we get the shrines, there is still some more to do. But I've been telling people I estimate September, probably. So, and then we'll be on to something else.
Yeah.
Then we'll be on to something else. What is it? I don't know. Actually, I have a pretty good idea. We talked about it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I'll We're only a few days away from the next Patreon video, so I'll be sure to mention it there. Let me make sure I have it written down to actually do that. Certainly I would do that, but also, you know, in case I don't. Yeah, let me write this down. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's it. I wish I could tell you that there was a vlog for you to watch, but I don't have one ready for this morning. Although I think I scheduled something for 10. It must have been on the VOD channel. I don't remember what it was. Scheduled something on the VOD channel for 10. But if you haven't seen the Japan vlog that I released yesterday, please watch it. March 16th. Please watch it. Foxy's got the link. Please watch it. It was very hard to make. It took a long time. A very long time. And in the process of doing it, and also because my parents were here, I'm a little behind on present day. So now I need to take the next little bit to catch up on present day, and then I can start March 17th.
Yeah.
Japan was a 2-week trip, so like... gonna take a while to get those out. Hopefully like every 2 weeks I'll have a new one out. That would be great. That would be ideal, but I guess we'll see. All right, folks.
I'll see you in 2 hours.
Mal will see you in 2 hours at noon Eastern on twitch.tv/malmakes for some painting. And then she'll see you again tomorrow in the morning for painting. And then we'll both see you tomorrow night for Zelda. Have yourselves a merry little Thursday.